Hello, beautiful people. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us this lovely Monday afternoon on Golf TV. And this is Keep It Simple, where we are definitely keeping it simple. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. Trust me, today's discussion is going to be interesting, beautiful, sweet. Just think of any adjective whatsoever. Everything right here on Keep It Simple. Well, I won't be doing this alone because I have the ladies in the studio. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Hello,
How y'all doing?
I was already feeling what you were saying. It was as if I was at the other end. Like I was watching my TV.
Yeah, I know, right? How you guys doing? How was your
Yeah,
weekend?
yeah.
What did you do
What did
this
you do?
weekend?
Then I was basically at home. I was trying to make some clothes for someone I wanted to deliver, but I was not able to finish it here. I just
Okay.
hope that this week I would be able to finish
All
it.
these fashion designer disappointments. So you fall in that category, Abi. You know your fashion designer tells you, don't worry, your dress will be ready the next 2 days.
I understand.
You see that next
It's
2
not,
days there?
it's not only fashion designer.
It's 2 months.
I've come to understand that people that are into businesses, if you are a vendor, maybe you do one thing or the other, the possibility that you would have disappointed 1 or 2 clients is really high.
More than one.
Like I had a very stressful weekend, and it's because of my relationship with some vendors. I needed them to deliver some stuff so that I could also deliver to my own client, and there were just so many back and forth. It was really hectic for me, and I was just like, goodness, is this how people in business, like people that have been in business for long, so this is what they cope with? It is mad. Logistics and everything, having to manage that, man, out there. So see, if you are into business, just try as much as possible to keep to your word.
Yeah.
That is
So
one
just
thing
try
I'm
to
taking
keep normal,
away.
yeah.
I don't like it when you say 10 and as at 12 I'm still expecting and you're not there, maybe for a meeting, maybe for a delivery or a pickup or something. Just try to live by your word. I don't like it when people disappoint. It's really, really frustrating.
Hope your
And
client
people-
wasn't disappointed, though.
No.
Oh gosh, oh
It
goodness,
wasn't really
it's
something
crazy.
pressing. I just promised I was going to do it this weekend.
Oh,
and
okay.
I wasn't
But
able to
then
meet up.
things
But then
happen,
this
you
week-
know,
Of course,
so there are
definitely.
sometimes
A
that
lot
you
of
will not
things
just be
happen.
able
A lot of
to
things
keep up.
happen.
All
Okay.
in all, my weekend was stressful, and to make matter worse, I was drenched in the rain.
Sorry.
It rained cat and dog Saturday night.
Not so nice.
Saturday
It
was
started.
I was still out when it started. I had to just wait under a shed till it stopped, and I
Okay.
got home pretty late. Sunday, hey goodness, I was just
You didn't even go to church on Sunday.
I connected via internet. I live stream. I could not.
members.
I was even up till now. I'm still weak. I can't even explain how I'm feeling, but I just want to believe in stress that by the time I take time to relax, I will feel
Definitely,
better.
you feel better.
And as a Sunday night, I was like, goodness, so that's just the end of the weekend. Can
Yes,
we just start all over?
before.
I don't like it when it seems like I always get to say that every weekend. Like, can we just start all over? But the truth is, when you're engaged in so many things, you just feel like you're not having time to rest.
Enough time.
But then, time waits for no man. You just have to keep going and going. So
Definitely,
it's Monday, we are here, and we just have to do what we have to do.
Exactly.
Yes, so that's it. We have to do what we have to do.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are here. It's good to see your face.
And
again.
how are you
Tolu,
too,
Rookie.
Kemi?
Oh,
How
yeah.
are you? What was it
Very
like
well.
for you?
Doing
How was
fantastically
your weekend?
well. My weekend was good. Saturday I was out of the house. Sunday, time out with my
Church.
husband. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good. It was good. I had a good weekend. You can
Nice
see it written
one.
all over my face.
Exactly.
Okay, so before we go on a break, let's talk about what happened over the weekend. The Pastor David and Fee's drama.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little dramatic though, but let's talk about it. So during the weekend, a video that Freeze made of Bishop Oyedepo about 2 years, 7 months ago, trended again on the internet, okay? And Pastor David, the BOM, made a comment about it, okay? So said things I would not like to say again right now, but I'm sure you're familiar with what happened. So said some really nasty things about Freeze, and Freeze also released an apology video, okay, saying that, that video was 2 years, 7 months ago.
So I'm surprised I just
And,
reacting to it.
Okay, he
Like-
didn't even say that. He just said, the video is from 2 years, 7 months ago, and he's no longer that person he used to be, and he's way more knowledgeable right now. And right now, if he wants to criticize pastors, he would rather do it quoting the scriptures. But back in those days, all he does was just lash out at them and all of that. But now he's doing it from a
Understand
knowledgeable
them.
point of view. So he will use the Bible to tackle you if he wants to tackle you as a man of God. That is what Freeze now said. So now, I want to hear you guys. I don't know what you think about it, but personally, I felt like, okay, maybe they shouldn't have replied, or maybe they should have not say anything to him. I don't know. I didn't like the
That's
back and
phrase.
forth. You know,
Okay.
yes, exactly. I felt like there was a back and forth thing and all of that, but I don't know what you guys think, you know. Different
Actually, I didn't get to see this
shades
new
for it.
video
Yeah,
you're talking about,
okay.
like the whole thing that happened over the weekend. But I, of course, was in the know when it happened 2 years ago, and
Okay.
we had many Nigerians talk about the fact that, yeah, you know, so we just had divided factions. So persons were like, really, if you
Support.
pay attention to what Daddy Freeze is saying, at some point we need to have our leaders,
Yeah.
even religious leader, accountable. They should always tell us how they spend the church money and blah blah blah. Then we have some other faction that says, no, see, whatever, if you are not in it, you would not know how it is run. So whatever thing our leaders do, they are accountable to some people.
Okay.
So just leave it. You are not in the fold, you would not know how things are being done. So we have a divided attention, quite all right. But having to now be surfaced on the internet now and seeing that Pastor Fritz said he had moved on from what he used to do or who he used to be, and he even tendered an apology. I think it just shows that growth is constant, like he had grown.
But that does not mean Freeze will stop talking, no.
Yeah,
It does
we
not
cannot
intend to
shut
stop,
him. We cannot
actually.
shut him
Eh,
up.
eh,
He
that's
has,
why-
there is freedom of expression, isn't
Okay.
it? So, but he's just trying to say that, oh, the video Pastor Ibiome is making reference to was
Was
dated 2 years ago. Now he's not that kind of
Things are
person.
different.
Whatever thing happened now, he would do his due diligence, make some research, and use the Bible as a basis. Understand?
Okay.
As a yardstick. So he has apologized. Everybody should move on. But where I have issue is with the fact that I didn't get to see Pastor Ibiome's comment.
Okay.
But people said he used some foul language.
Yeah, I
on
felt
him.
like he was quite
like
nasty,
insulted.
you know. Of course, I think Bishop is like Pastor Ibiome's mentor or something like
yeah.
that, spiritual father.
Exactly.
So like they don't joke with Bishop. I think
Yeah.
that was
He
what
was
prompted
responding like his
exactly,
son.
you know. So I think that was what prompted that response. So I'm now thinking, so should the Christian community now start exchanging words with people who have something to say at every point in time? You know, that's just the perspective I want us to come in from. Do we think it's fine?
Wisdom
or...
is just profitable to direct. There are times you need to talk. Let
Okay,
people
so
know what your
now this
stand is.
response came in a very harsh way. And people now are now saying, how can
a
a
pastor
spiritual
say
leader
this?
now respond
Yeah.
like this? You know, the whole thing is now becoming dramatic. That's why I said, I think it's drama and all of that. So going forward, do you think Christian communities or Christian leaders
what would you
should
say?
respond to people like Freeze? Because we
Freeze.
have a lot of them in this generation, and you cannot shut them.
You can't.
That's interesting. You
Yeah.
cannot shut them. So do we continue with the back and forth? Because if Freeze had not apologized, if he had responded again,
It would
Yeah.
have
you know,
been
because
gone
part of what
to
Pastor
worse.
Ibiome said was targeted as his mother,
Yeah.
as Freeze's mother.
Yeah.
You know, so if he had responded again to what Pastor Ibiome had said, you know, saying that he was insulting his mother and all of that, don't you think the back and forth would have
It
continued?
would have.
So,
like a
do you
wildfire.
think this should be encouraged in the Christian community? You know, should we continue like this, or should we turn the other, the other face or the other side, like Jesus said when they slap
Like I've
you?
been slapped 77 times.
When they slap your one cheek, you turn the
Yeah.
other cheek. You know, is that the principle we should uphold, or should we continue with the you say one, I give it to you? That's both.
Seriously, what I want people to know is that social media does not forget, you know. Something you say today, next 2 years, next 10 years will always
True.
resurface.
True.
So we need to be careful with what we say out there. Not everybody has that patience, you understand, to
Okay.
keep quiet, or
Okay.
not everybody will be willing to say into your own perspective. Sometimes you don't even have to say or
Yeah.
reply. Sometimes you don't have to reply. But some people, because of the anger, I want to believe that Pastor David was very angry.
Oh.
That was why he said those things. He
Responded
said,
that
but
way.
there's no excuse yet to some of the things he said. They were outrightly very, 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 very nasty and very bad.
I'm surprised this thing had to come up again
But just
because I don't know. It
just
has been
watch
buried.
basically,
Why?
watch what you say.
Why do
Don't
we have to
just say,
revisit
because
it?
you're a Christian, but and yeah, you will still see some Christians that would say, oh, that the phrase was right. You know that.
Definitely.
And some people
no.
They're
would say the
entitled to
pastor
their
was right. Everybody
opinion.
has different opinion, but just be careful with what you say because you don't know who you're speaking to, or you don't know what will be used, how it can be used against you tomorrow.
Yeah, very
That's true.
important.
Anyway, thank you so much for that opinion. All right, let's go on a short break. When we come back, we'll go into our discuss for today. We'll be right back. staying with us, this is still Keep It Simple. In case you're just joining us, we're about going into our discuss for today. Today is Monday, so we're doing it the Monday way. So our topic for today is workplace ethics. So as individuals, how are we supposed to conduct ourselves at work? You know, what should be our behavior, our attitude towards our employers, or if you're an employer, what should be your attitude to your employees, basically. So that's our discussion for today. But we're coming from a particular perspective. We know that workplace ethics discussion is quite wide, you get, but we want to come in from a particular perspective, which is, as an employee, are you supposed to leave work before your boss? Okay, let's say your boss is at work, and you as an employee, you're done for the day. Like, you don't have anything else to do, you know. It's your closing hour already. You're supposed to close at 5 or 4 o'clock and you're done. So are you supposed to wait till your boss leaves the office before you close? Or are you supposed to just pick up your stuff and go after all? I'm supposed to close at 5 o'clock. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? So, let's start from...
What's needed on the letter?
Okay.
On your offer letter,
Okay,
right?
let's say on your letter, let's say on your letter, you are told that you close by 5 o'clock, you know. 5 p.m. is the closing time. You know, we know that already. But of course, there might be times you have other things on your desk and you need to sort them out. So you might be at work till later. Or maybe you were given other responsibilities that you need to take care of on that same day before you close for that day. You know, but let's say you don't have anything doing, you're done. But the only factor now is that your boss is also in the office. Like, your boss is still there. So as an employee who is concerned about workplace ethics, how are you supposed to now condone yourself in that situation? Are you supposed to go to your boss and tell your boss that, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma, I'm done for the day, I'm leaving? Or you're not supposed to say anything, you're not supposed to go. After all, you're justified. It's time for you to go home already and you're not doing anything. So are you supposed to just leave like that, you know? So I want to hear you guys' opinion about this topic.
What do you think?
Okay, so I feel like if I asked you what's on the offer letter, right? I think if it's 5, it should be 5, or probably if you have something to do, you could as well do those things and you're not done for the day. Yeah, sometimes we have to, our work time spills over till past 5 or past 6 when we're supposed to close. Yeah, that's fine, but do you have to wait because you are afraid of what the boss might say, or because that is what you meant, that's the status quo? Imagine as a new employee, you got into the job and it's 5 already, you're expecting everybody to pick their bag and everybody's just looking. They're like, you know, some people would even be watching their time and you're like, oh God, what's up? And you yourself, you'll be scared because you don't know what's happening. Then you ask and you're like, oh, we have to wait for the boss to leave. Is that what's obtainable yet? Is that what they've talked about before? You don't know. So personally, I feel like you should be wise. Don't just do things. Don't just do things anyhow. Don't just react, but watch. Learn from your environment and then communicate with people. If you have to communicate with your boss, you're not comfortable with the timing, especially probably you close by 5 and 6 o'clock, you're still there doing nothing, and your house is very far from your place of work. You just have to leave. I mean, what will you be there doing?
Waiting for your boss to leave, of course. Because your boss employed you and your boss is paying your salary. Yeah, your financial... Your financial progress is in their hands.
To him or
so
her.
if you leave,
doesn't mean
it has been terminated.
Does it mean that when my boss closes by 2,
you can as well leave by 2?
I can leave by 3 p.m.
No.
They have to I can as well do
you
that.
can't, if your boss leaves before your closing time, you cannot leave home.
Oh,
no.
You cannot.
Wait.
Yes, what is obtainable in the Nigerian workspace is that if your boss closes before your closing time, you cannot leave. But if your boss does not close at your closing time, you have to hold on to your boss leaves, which might be after your closing time.
I would just say that for every organization, I think there is something they call written rules and unwritten rules.
Bam.
Or should I say codes?
That's it.
So this is really what ethics is about. There are some things that will be stated explicitly.
Yeah.
In your offer letter, in the company's mission and vision and whatever it is. So it builds on you as the employee to familiarize yourself not only with the written codes, but even with the unwritten rules. So now how would you, because you're just coming in and maybe you've not been privileged to really interact with other people, so you might not get to understand what the unwritten rules are, but it's expected that at least your first few weeks or first few months is for you to really calm down and see what is obtainable in the new environment you find yourself. So now, if you ask me that question directly, Tolu, what would you do on maybe the first week of your research? Maybe not the first day. The first day, I can be that nice. I will stick around and see what's going to happen. Like, it's 5 and every other person is still, just waiting around. I can decide to wait around, let's see where this thing leads us. So probably I ended up leaving the office around 6. And from 5 to 6, I wasn't just doing anything. I was just sitting because every other person is sitting. I would do that for the first 2-3 days. Then I would now go meet my, probably the team lead or my supervisor or, just a senior officer, like what is happening. I can decide to go back to the HR that, okay, so for the past 1 week that I've been here, this is what I've come to understand. Like, this is how it is. So what exactly it is? Like, my job description might even be different from the other people that are waiting around that will probably work late. So I would now want the HR or my boss to revisit whatever contract you want to have. That is why ordinarily, before you even get started, before you accept any offer, you need to sit down and discuss with them. Like, ask every question you can ask. It's just a function. It's just very it's compared to what we see on any new app you want to download or anything you want to sign up on. They will tell you terms and conditions. Or terms of service. The thing is that people already go through those things and just sign up, and you at that time you've already committed to yourself. So whatever comes with it, you take responsibility for it. So when you don't take your time to go through things like that, you get stuck midway and be like, oh, they didn't tell me. They will tell you are not calm down to understand how things are. So for me, I might want to study what it is like for the first few days or a week. Then if it's something I'm not comfortable with, and especially because it was not stated in my offer letter, I'll bring it up and I will ask, it in a very responsible manner. Like, I would politely, exactly, I wouldn't, throw tantrums or anything. I would want to engage with them on this issue, that what is obtainable, how can we, just re-strategize, or if it's not, if I'm going somewhere far, probably I'm working on the island and I stay on the mainland and I already programmed myself, 5 I'm out, latest by 8 I'm home. But you're expecting me to wait in the office till 8. And it's not like I'm doing anything just because a boss is still there. We need to revisit that thing.
Anyway, we need to quickly go on and break. The discussion continues. We'll be right back. back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Still Keep It Simple on TV. And yes, you can join the conversation. Just leave your comment right there in the comment section. Don't forget that we're discussing workplace ethics today, and we're discussing how an employee should conduct themselves when their bosses, their ogas at the top, are still around. You know, are they supposed to leave the workplace, or are they supposed to wait for their bosses or their managers or their madams, as the case might be, to leave the office before they leave? So that's the conversation. So before we went on that break, Tolu was speaking from our own perspective. You know, so we're going to hear from Ruki, but before that, I'm going to quickly tell us a scenario. You know, let's say a new employee start working in a place, or it's a new place of work, you know, and the person gets there and it's 5 o'clock and I'm supposed to close at 5 o'clock. Let's say I'm that new employee. I'm supposed to close at 5 o'clock and I picked up my bags to leave. And my colleague who has been working there for a while says, see this one, JJC, I just coming. We don't do that here, because 5 o'clock was written in your letter does not mean you're going to close by that 5 o'clock. You know, this place, you wait for your boss to leave before you leave. So what the person did is, the person went straight to the boss's office, knocked on the door and says, excuse me, sir, I'm done for the day. It's 5 o'clock. I need to go home. And the boss will say, okay, yeah, that's fine. You can go. Have a good night rest or whatever. So the boss allows you to take your leave. And the colleague is looking at you like, what just happened? You know? So now what I want to bring up from that scenario is the fact that in some workspace, it's not necessarily an unwritten rule. Just like Tolu mentioned earlier on, you know, we have written and unwritten rules in virtually all workspaces. And we have written consequences and unwritten consequences, you know, it's all there. So now, in some workspace, leaving before your boss or your manager is not necessarily an unwritten rule. It's just something that the average employee in Nigeria just does because they feel it's a sign of respect to your boss, you know. They are an authority. So you feel like, oh, why would I leave when my guy is still around? So it's like a thing with the Nigerian average employee. So that was what happened in that case. And that was why that person needed to take that step. So how can we now find out if leaving before your boss is not even a big deal to the boss? How are you supposed, if you're working in a new place, for example, how can you find out, knowing that your colleagues are all waiting? Is it advisable for you to now approach your boss and say, boss, me, I'm leaving, after it's 5 o'clock.
What would you do in that situation?
I'm asking you people.
What would you do?
That. Oh yeah, I'm asking.
What would
Ruki.
you do?
Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do, but Ruki, I would like to know what you would do.
Okay, so the story you gave made me remember something. While I worked with an organization for it was a very short period of time. Yeah, and they were all ladies, the bosses, and well, when it was time for us to go, okay, the first vibe I got there was that everybody was so scared of the manager, and she's a woman. So they always miss this, miss that, she's this, she's that, you know, and I didn't just get that impression exactly about when I got there. She was so nice to me, like she was laughing and all that, and I was wondering, like, is this the same person everybody has been so jittery about? So when it was time to leave, it was 4, yeah, it was 4 p.m. and I told her, ma'am, I'm leaving, and she told me bye with smile and, you know, encouragement and everything. She was like, see you tomorrow. Exactly. I just picked my bag and I left. I didn't really have a close friend there at that time. So everybody was surprised. After I left, I started seeing people at my back. Probably they picked the cue from myself. So I think that what that guy did is so nice. If you can be as bold and courageous, some people just fear people. They fear their bosses.
Especially those in authority.
Especially, they just fear. That fear of, I don't want to do something bad. I don't want this person to feel like I'm this. I don't want to lose my job. Or I want to be in the favorable
good books,
with this person. Would not make them do what they are supposed to do. I mean, if you can just communicate, let go of that fear. Some people will try to rub their fear into you. They'll try to make you bend into the status quo, but that status quo is not what it's supposed to be. Sometimes even the boss might not be aware of this situation. The boss might just be like, oh, probably they are doing something, or they are gisting, they are catching up, they are trying to browse with the internet at workplace. You understand? So you should just be able to communicate and do not fear. Once you fear, see, they say fear is a slave. The moment you start becoming afraid, you can't talk, you can't do what you're supposed to do. You will stay there till 8 o'clock. Sometimes
even the boss will not notice you that you stay around.
Exactly. And even when the boss is going, the boss will just say, oh, bye, and that's all. You just have to be able to communicate. But if it's a person that really take this thing very personal. Wow, you just have to pray to God for grace for your boss to be leaving work on time.
Okay. Yes, exactly. And that brings me to my next question. You know, we need to know that, in fact, there are some workplaces where the boss will even be the one to tell you that as far as I'm still around, you can't leave.
So they will have
not
to
because
do you have to come hack
thank
me.
you.
Can't you see others still busy working?
Exactly. So it's not because you're your boss's PA or your boss's receptionist or secretary, as the case might be. They just feel like as far as they're in the office, you know, they're your boss now. They're managing you. They employed you, so they feel
They're
like
paying you.
they're paying you.
Out loud.
You know, place of authority. So they feel like if they're still in the office, you know, what is expected of you as a good employee, and if you're supposed, of course, if you're a good employee and you want to stay in their good books, what is expected of you is you're supposed to wait in the office with them, you know. So some bosses expect you to do that, you know. So I'm thinking, is this something that should be encouraged? Or is this something that employers or managers and bosses, they need to look into? Like, I still don't understand how you're keeping your employee, knowing that this person is not doing anything. I think the average boss should be after productivity. I think that's the most important thing: productivity, efficiency. In as much as you're carrying out your job delegations and you're carrying out your responsibilities, even your other assigned ones, you make sure you do everything. Day closing at the time they're supposed to close shouldn't be a big deal. But so what should we say to those bosses or those employers that say, see, as far as I'm here, anytime I close, you close. It does not matter. I avoid you. I am your savior.
God is up there watching all of us. Well, I just think that we all need to be sensitive to one another. So first of all, from the perspective of the employee, the offer letter states 5, and you've been closing 5 for a while, but you just probably got some new tasks or new projects that everybody is working on, and it demands extra time. You wouldn't say, oh, because it's 5, like the offer letter states 5, they have to leave. I've just done my part anyway. Work doesn't even finish, so I will continue tomorrow. You have to learn to be sensitive. When work demands that you work extra time, even without being told, you do that.
Do it.
Now, from the perspective of the employer, you should also be sensitive, because these people are humans. Their life doesn't revolve around your work alone. Like me, they have other things to do.
Some people are gods when it comes to their place.
That's what I'm saying. See, the fact that you own or you manage this business and like you are the boss doesn't mean that everybody needs to probably, you know, worship the ground you work on. So try to be sensitive towards the needs of other people. When you know that you still have things to do and you don't necessarily need them around, you can let them go. In fact, you don't need to tell them, oh, okay, now you can go. If you are really a good employer, okay, the rule states 5, but please, I need 1 or 2 or 3 persons. Just pick. Please, I will be doing some extra work. I would like you to stay back and ask it just in case I need. So it's not that you just expect that everybody will have to be there for you to leave before they leave. So just try to be sensitive from both ends, whether as an employer or employee. Sensitivity it is for me, and communication. If work demands that you work extra time, everybody will, you know, do that. But if it's not, then please let people go back to their families and every other aspect of their life. It's not only your work.
And I think communication is vital.
Very, very important.
You know, channels of communication should be opened. You know, from employee to employer, from employer to employee, there should be structures in place whereby you can communicate your grievances, you can communicate your, you know, your desires to your employer, and your employer can also do the same. But just like you mentioned earlier, of course, I don't want to say a lot because I didn't carry out any research, but I know that most employees are scared of their superiors and they can't even communicate how exactly they are feeling and all of that. You know, see, there's so much more to this discussion, so we might have to continue some other time. I don't know, but right now we have to draw the curtain on today's episode as time is against us. Don't forget that you can join the conversation as well. All you have to do is leave a comment right there in our section, in our comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe and click on the bell icon as well so that you can get notifications when we have new videos and whenever we go offline. So we'll see you again next time. Take care of yourself. From Kemi, Tolu, and Briki.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.